Welcome back everyone to part 2 of our journey through the forgotten mods of BeamNG Drive. Today, we're diving into more mods that once brought us joy, but have since been left behind. I won't delay it any longer. Let's get right into it. Let's start with a mod that most of you are likely familiar with. This is ETK 1300, the most iconic SUV mod ever created for BeamNG. At the beginning, the mod was worked on by two individuals, Bernd, who was behind the original idea and the original model, and Overpower, who took care of the modeling and design that we all know today. Later, a third individual, Sinsal, joined them, and after many months, they managed to bring everything to a successful conclusion. The mod immediately became an absolute hit after its release. ETK 1300 was simply perfect in every aspect, and it came with 26 configurations. However, since the 0.28 update in April last year, the mod has become outdated. When we look at the car today, we can immediately see that the glass, front, and rear lights have broken textures. The car spawns without an engine, the texture of the ETK emblem is missing, and the interior was also not spared from broken textures. Fortunately, it didn't take long, and user Dark Krieger uploaded a fixed version in the discussion thread. However, this version is slightly modified, as it does not contain the original 26 configurations, but only 18. From my point of view, I prefer these newer configurations more than the original ones. I will leave the download link for the fixed version in the video description so that you can try it out yourself. Next, we have the Fate one, created by user Nagoluna. The mod is inspired by the Fiat Uno, and I must say that the author did a very good job because it looks almost the same as the real car. The Fate one is quite a special mod for me because I've had it installed since 2017 when the mod was originally released. I always felt sorry to remove it, even though I didn't use it. I always came back to it sooner or later, and I still own the mod to this day. If you regularly watch my videos, you might have noticed it a few times. But nowadays, the mod isn't as popular as it once used to be. Although you won't find any broken textures or anything like that, it's noticeable that the mod isn't the youngest anymore. The quality of the textures is not the best, especially on the taillights. On the other hand, the interior still looks decent for today's standards, and has some animated parts as well. Another problem is that you cannot change or remove parts of the car, because the parts menu is completely empty. As for configurations, the mod only includes 4. Despite the mod being this old, I always enjoy coming back to it and taking another ride. It's a shame that the mod never received any further updates. Next up is the Ibishu Blackfoot. The inspiration for this mod was the Jeep Cherokee XJ. I used to like this car a lot, and I wasn't the only one. The mod was very well received by the entire community. You could choose from 37 configurations, allowing you to explore various inhospitable places, such as Jungle Rock Island, for example. If you want to download the mod today, you'll be greeted with a red, outdated tag on the main page. Despite the mod being labeled as outdated, I only encountered a few minor issues while recording the video. Some configurations spawn without tires, but you can easily add them back in the vehicle config menu. The interior is intact, except for one exception: the rear-view mirror, which has a broken texture. But aside from these minor flaws, the mod is still usable. It would be awesome if somebody could revamp the mod, but since the author doesn't want anyone to make changes to it, it's unlikely that we will ever get an updated version. Another noteworthy car mod is the Lancia Delta that I really liked back in the day. The mod was created by author Schumacher in 2016. Similar to the ETK 1300, there's a small backstory to how this mod came to be. Initially, Schumacher wanted to bring his favorite rally car into BeamNG, but because he had no prior experience with mod creation, progress was slow. After a few weeks, he had a conversation with users DirectUA and Crashmaster, who have been involved in the mod's development since then. Over time, more users joined them, and after 6 months of development, the mod was finally released. At the time, it was a very high-quality mod that came with 6 configurations. The engine has custom sound, deformation of the car is awesome, and there are no missing textures anywhere. The only thing that bothers me a bit about the mod is some parts of the interior that have low texture quality. But before we move on to the next mod, I would like to mention one feature that I absolutely love. You can add fluffy dice decoration on the rear view mirror. I find it quite funny that a mod from 2016 has such a decoration, but today's paid mods don't offer anything like that. Another great mod created by Schumacher is his Volkswagen Scirocco GT2. I always liked old German cars, and I was so happy when this car was released back in 2017. At that time, it was the most detailed mod you could get. The amount of detail this mod offered was simply amazing. The best feature of the car, in my opinion, was working real-life time clocks in the interior. You could choose from 26 configurations, which had a lot of customization options. It's no wonder that this mod became very popular among BeamNG YouTubers such as Crash Boompunk. Everything about the car was nearly perfect. It had a high-quality interior and exterior, the car's deformation was excellent, and the tuning options were endless. This mod is a perfect example of what I talked about at the beginning of the video. Even though the mod was absolutely amazing, it has been entirely forgotten over time. Under the first video of this series, there were many questions about why I didn't mention the codename Olds Full-Size Car Pack. The answer is simple. I saved it for the second part. This pack features 4 iconic General Motors full-size cars: Oldsmobile 98 Regency, Chevrolet Caprice Classic, Chevrolet Impala, and Oldsmobile Delta 88. They are presented in 9 body variants and more than 150 configurations with tons of custom parts, engine variations, and interior trims. In later updates, rusty, weak, and highly deformable variants were added to all body styles. Despite the mod being released 7 years ago by Sergeant Fido, it is still holding up very well. You might come across a few missing textures here and there, but it's nothing serious. Overall deformation is also impressive and very realistic. I particularly enjoyed testing the rusty configurations for their satisfying crash simulations. By the way, the thread with the mod is still active to this day. User Agent Y is even working on a refresh of this legendary mod, but since he has been part of the BeamNG admin team for some time now, the progress is very slow. It looks like we will have to wait a bit longer until the refresh is completely finished. And the last mod we will take a look on in this video is the Roth Alpha, created by user Wobble. The mod was heavily inspired by the Opel Omega. When it was first released, it included a station wagon version and a sedan version. This was not common back in the day, as the author had to adjust the J-beam for each of these 2 versions, which of course took a lot of time. The mod had 22 configurations that could be customized in various ways. You could even put a roof box on top and go on a road trip around the map. Anyway, if you decide to download the mod today and then spawn it in the game, you will find that it no longer looks like this, but rather like this. Unfortunately, due to game updates, there are missing textures all over the car. Even the interior hasn't been spared. Fortunately, there are a few hotfixes that allow you to enjoy the mod even today. Another good news is that the Wobble is still working on the mod, so hopefully, we will see an updated version soon. And that concludes today's video. I plan to continue this series, so please share any nostalgic mods you remember in the comments. If you missed part 1, you can watch it here. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Have a nice day, everyone.